And welcome live, Chapmanville Regional High School. Chapmanville High School, we got the Chapmanville Tigers hosting the South Charleston Black Eagles here tonight for a trip to Charleston. Ticket to the state tournament on the line here. We want to thank Whip, Mobile Home Movers, Blessings and Blooms, Williamson Auto Sales, United Motorsports, Hacienda Mexican Grill, Quality Metal Roofing, J&J Mobile Auto, Geno's Pizza and Spaghetti House, Freeman Funeral Home, Rebound Physical Therapy, Closer Emergency Care, Chiefs Roadhouse, 304 Motorsports Park, Aracoma Theater, J&J Sports, City Auto Care, Starters Bar and Restaurant, D&D Auto Mart, and Williamson Animal Hospital. You got James Barker, Chris Kidd, and Kevin Jones on the call. Coach May's going to be doing stats, and we got JJ on the floor cam tonight. Hopefully, guys, should be a good basketball game here tonight, Kevin Jones.
I agree, man. Should be a really good game. Get everything rolling, and we're going to step out real quick for a commercial break, but we'll be back here. Should have some pre-game interviews going on, Coach. Be right back on the D&D Sports Network.
Smokey Armstrong with United Motorsports in Danville. Stop in today and check out the great deals on Can-Am, side-by-sides, and ATVs. And let the good times roll on a new Kawasaki plus promo financing available now. And savings up to $7,500 on selected units. Right now, get limited time offers on new Yamaha motorcycles. We've got new, pre-owned. We have parts, service, and financing to get you approved. United Motorsports in Danville, West Virginia.
Toyota and your local West Virginia Toyota dealers are proud to be the official partner of the WVSSAC, supporting high school sports all across West Virginia. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. Well, we are here for the Region 4 championship in Class AAA between the Chapmanville Tigers and the South Charleston Black Eagles. James Barker, Coach May with you. KJ with us as well, producing. JJ Pruitt on the floor. Chris Kidd joins us shortly. Should be a good one between these two clubs. Chapmanville, the number 1 seed in Class AAA, coming into this contest with a record of 18-3 on the regular season, 19-3 when you add their postseason victory over Lincoln County. South Charleston comes in at 12-11 on the season with a victory over St. Albans to get to this co-championship round, as it will be a matchup for Chapmanville where they have some athletes to go against, but Chapmanville no stranger to having athletes on the floor as well. We'll kind of set the scene for you a little bit as JJ Pruitt puts it on down to Brad Napper.
I'm JJ Pruitt with the D&D Sports Network, and I'm with head coach Brad Napper. Coach, a really big game tonight. How are you feeling right now?
Just anxious, a little bit anxious to get it started, get this thing going. South Charleston's got a really good team. They're playing really well right now. So it's going to be a tough one.
Now, you've been in a lot of situations like this before. These are really big games. Can you talk a little bit about what you have done to help your kids mentally prepare for tonight's matchup?
Just trying to go through, make sure everybody's on the same page. Everybody knows the offenses, defenses, rotations. Our scouting report, going over the scouting report yesterday was a big thing. And just making sure everybody's kind of all in tune together.
Well, I got one more question for you before the game starts, Coach. What would it mean to you to get the job done tonight on your home court?
Anytime you go to the state tournament, that's goal number 1 each season. And, to accomplish that goal is probably the biggest thing, the achievement that we can have other than winning a championship.
Well, Coach, we wish you the best of luck. Back to you guys.
JJ Pruitt down on the floor with head coach Brad Napper as Kevin, you listen to Coach Napper there. He's got a really good squad. Very confident coming into tonight's contest.
I've known Brad since he was at Mingo Central. I mean, and he's always, when you watch his teams, they're always well prepared. They always have a good game plan, and he does a good job of staying with that game plan, not deviating a whole lot. But, I mean, I think, well, you're a coach, you know, preparation is key to winning in any sport at any level, at any juncture in the season. And I think he does a good job of preparing his kids. And it don't help that he's got some pretty daggone good players to go there, you know what I mean?
It does.
It's a lot easier to coach talented kids.
It is. When you look at South Charleston coming into this contest, and you know, a lot of our viewers are more Chapmanville oriented. They're more Chapmanville fans, so you get to know South Charleston just a little bit with them. You've got South Charleston coming off a 1-point victory at St. Albans in that semifinal matchup in Region 4. They come off a very impressive victory over St. Joe as well, 78-68. And they lost to Capital 81-66 in the third place game of the MSAC Conference Championship. This is a South Charleston team that if they can rebound and play with Chapmanville, they're going to give the Tigers a little bit of problems. They've got some size on the inside, and they've got some athleticism as well. I think rebounding is going to be a big key tonight.
Right. Well, Chapmanville's big. They got some good size, too. They got big guards, and, man, they get after you. They play hard. They're good defensively. And I've only got to see them on Facebook, watch them on D&D. I got to watch them early in the year before the football players got back. So, but Chapmanville's always really good, really solid.
They are led by Keith Terry on the inside, as well as Benji Atkins on the inside as well. Their guard play has been exceptional of late. Dakota Dalton and Jay Brock leading the way there. Look out for Eli Smith, as Elijah Smith has been a catalyst, sometimes off the bench, sometimes in the starting five, depending on the matchup. And we will see how big of a role he plays tonight as well. We're going to step aside for a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about this matchup between Chapmanville and South Charleston. Back with more on the D&D Sports Network right after. For the best news coverage in high school sports in West Virginia all year, follow Joe Mercado and Greg Carey, Daily Post for WVMetroNews.com. I think we're going to go down to the floor with J.J. Pruitt at some point in time. He's got some Chapmanville cheerleaders as we're getting ready for Chapmanville and South Charleston here from Danny Godby Gymnasium. James Barker, Kevin May, Chris Kidd, J.J. Pruitt, and KJ, our producer, as we're going to go down the floor with J.J. Pruitt with some Chapmanville cheerleaders.
I'm J.J. Pruitt with the D&D Sports Network, and I'm with the Chapmanville cheerleading squad at the moment. Ladies, how fired up are you for tonight's game?
We're real fired up. Like, just getting to look out and see their stands full of people, it really just shows how good of the community is, and it brings the spirits up.
Absolutely. Can you talk a little bit about how important it is for not only the cheerleading squad to come out and support these kids, but also for the student section as well?
It's very important because it gets our whole crowd pumped up, and then the energy just feeds off with our boys, and it makes them play 10 times better.
And what would it mean for you all to have the opportunity to go to Charleston and cheer on your team?
It would mean a lot. I mean, we want another picture up here, and it's the energy is amazing, and it's awesome.
And I got one last question for each and every one of you. What is your favorite sports network?
D&D!
Back to you guys.
All right, JJ, great job down there with the cheerleaders. As this pregame show brought to you by Rebound Physical Therapy here on the D&D Sports Network. It's now joined with our play-by-play announcer, Chris Kidd. And Chris, crowd's starting to fill in here. Big game here in Chapmanville tonight for the Tigers, a chance to go back to Charleston again.
Yeah, it was a nice job of shilling down there by J.J. Pruitt for the network. That was wonderful. Couldn't have done it better, J.J. And again, getting ready for this regional co-final here tonight between Chapmanville and South Charleston. Like you said, this place filling up now for a chance to see Chapmanville try and return to the state tournament. And, I'm sure you and Coach May talked a little bit about some of the unluckiness for Chapmanville the last couple of years at the state tournament, again losing in heartbreaking fashion 2 years in a row after winning the state championship in 2023. But this year has a little bit of a different feel to it, James. Again, the last 2 years, Chapmanville felt like they had a team that might kind of be able to contend. This year it feels like this team not only can contend, but this team could and should be favored going into the state tournament if they get by tonight.
There's an aura of confidence around this club right now, Chris, with the way they've played over the last month, and we've both said this on air, it's like some of the best basketball we've seen in Chapmanville in the last 2 or 3 years since that state title game in 2023. So a lot of confidence, but this is a dangerous South Charleston team. They are battle tested. They've got athleticism. They've got size on the inside. It's going to be an interesting matchup. The first 8 minutes of this contest, that first quarter, is going to be really telling for both clubs.
Yeah, again, we saw this South Charleston club, or I did, over at the West Virginia State University tournament whenever we were there for those never-ending 4 days. And, this was a very athletic South Charleston team. Again, they got up and down the floor well, were able to hang with their Kentucky opponent, Boyd County, for quite a while in that game. But then it just kind of looked like in the second half, not that they gave up necessarily, but definitely seemed like their competitive edge left them once they got down by a certain amount. So you kind of feel like it could be similar tonight if Chapmanville can get up on them early, maybe get this crowd into it a little bit early. This could be a South Charleston team that might fold under that situation like we saw over at West Virginia State.
Yeah, I think it could be a tough situation for South Charleston if Chapmanville jumps out to an early lead. Then that's how great teams do things. And the way to build greatness is with chocolate milk, Chris. The official beverage of the WVSSAC, the American Dairy Association's Minis, reminds you that low-fat chocolate milk has the right mix of fluids, carbs, and proteins to rehydrate and refuel muscles. Visit drink-milk.com.
Yeah. I had my chocolate milk this morning, James. I'm ready to go.
I'd say a lot of us are ready to go for this one here tonight.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, I was like, so you said you had the readers. Does that mean the SSAC? And as soon as I thought about it, I was like, yep, he's got those too.
Yeah, he does. He's got them all over here, buddy.
Oh, man. Well, like we said, this is going to be a game that could be set by tempo as well, James. And I think you'll see a pretty quick up and down game here tonight. it'll just depend on how much South Charleston executes. If they can execute with Chapmanville, I think this can be a game right down to the end. But if they're not getting the buckets they want, the looks they want, and they're not shooting well, kind of like what Lincoln County did last week, this could be a similar outcome with Chapmanville pulling away quickly.
Yeah, Chris, I agree. I talked to Coach May, who was here with us tonight, and I think rebounding is going to be a big key too. Chapmanville, has rebounded well over the last 6 weeks of this season, and is it a team that they can out-rebound inside? Chapmanville, doesn't matter who they play, they're going to have a size advantage, but South Charleston does match up pretty well with them athletically and size-wise.
We're getting set for the pregame festivities here as the national anthem getting ready to be played here in just a moment, along with the starting lineups. So we're going to take it down to the floor and listen in to the pregame festivities. We go down to the floor and the starting lineups for South Charleston and Chapmanville this evening to see who moves on to the state tournament in the Charleston Coliseum next week. Let's join PA announcer and J.J. Pruitt down on the floor. Looks like they tried to get the light show going here, James, and just not cooperating.
Yeah, I could tell.
So now we're going to go traditional pregame introductions.
I hope that is not a bad omen for the Tigers there, Chris. You know, a slow start to the starting lineup, not a great thing, but kids seem to be unfazed.
I was going to say, I figure that'll be the next investment in this gymnasium for next year.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we've had our issues with it this year with the PA system and now the light show. I said it's a terrific light show if the fans haven't seen it yet, but here tonight, we're ready to go. And you see the Chapmanville Tigers huddling up, South Charleston already down on the floor, ready to go here this evening. And this will be a matchup for one of the 8 spots in the AAA state tournament next week. Again, we'll try and keep you abreast of any scores that are going on throughout the rest of AAA here tonight. As we are starting to put teams in place in the state tournament bracket for next week. Now Chapmanville, who has not only a trip to the state tournament on the line, but potentially the #1 seed on the line, coming out here to try and defend their home court one more time this season. So it'll be Aiden Grayley and Keaton Terry to jump it up. We're glad you're with us tonight here on the D&D Sports Network as Chapmanville will take control first.
Little new look for Benji Atkins here, Chris, a haircut.
I was going to say, he's got the buzz cut going on. He's running the point tonight. Heck, we may see him shoot some threes here. It's over to Dalton, top of the key, Brock. He'll take the three, got deflected, and now taken away. It's nice block on that play by Orcutt.
Really good defense there for the South Charleston Black Eagles.
Over near side, Malcolm Brown back to the top of the key as Malachi Hall will give it off. Trying to penetrate was Grayley. You see South Charleston being a little bit hesitant here at the beginning, trying to survey this defense, see where they can attack. There's Brown up against Atkins. He'll stop and pop a three right in front of him, but too strong as it grazes the basket support, and it'll give it over to Chapmanville.
Brown's the shooter you got to watch out for. He's the guy that kind of makes that offense go, Chris, and you know he has no fear to shoot it from anywhere past half court.
And Chapmanville with their second look. Got a man on Eli in the middle, trying to prevent that middle pass against this zone. Is that one deflected away? And they're going to say last touch by Smith.
And that did. It went off Smith's chest. He was trying to argue that it was deflected. It was deflected, but it rolled off Smith's chest. And 2 tough possessions for Chapmanville out of the gate. A block and now a steal for South Charleston.
You can tell these two teams in the last few days definitely been working on defensive setups as Orcutt's three short may have been deflected. Brock's pass went off at Dalton, but he's able to gather it. Now over to Brock, open three from the wing, too strong. Terry able to grab the rebound inside, gives it back to Brock. He'll charge in, can't bank it home. Another offensive board, but we get a whistle underneath.
They're going to get a body foul there on 33. That is Hall, so he'll pick up his first as he got into the body of Benji Atkins.
No score yet here in this regional co-championship, a minute and a half into the first quarter. Brock gives it to Dalton, corner three on the way, that one too strong. Atkins knocked the rebound loose, but out of bounds off of him.
And a long shot there from Dalton, Chris. I did like the shot that he took. It was a lot of confidence, but quick trigger on the subs right here as Kai Martin and Logan Hominick check into the game. I think Brad Napper is more upset that they shot threes. I think he wants to push the ball inside, and that's why he made that. I'm going to move our camera guy out of the middle of the way there.
Yeah, I was going to say he had an earful for both of them coming over to the bench, and now Jeff Miller playing the nice guy on the bench after that. I've noticed that's turned into Jeff's role a lot this year. Just play the nice guy after they get yelled at, try and encourage them again. You always need that coach, too.
Absolutely. I don't know if I'm that coach, but you can need that coach sometimes.
Now here comes South Charleston again. Both teams still scoreless here. Opening minutes of the first quarter. Hovenack into the game, along with Ty Martin now. Look at top of the keel, swing it over for Jakari Good. Good. Crosses over to the baseline, cut off by Atkins. He'll feed it down low, back out now. Over to the right side, 3 on the way, and that one will rattle home for Aiden Grayley.
Grayley hits the 3, and good ball movement for South Charleston, and we'll try to see if another turnover for Chapmanville.
That was a lazy pass out front, but Good able to take away, but he misses on the layup attempt.
And no defense there. BG Atkins going to let him score. Now Chapmanville back the other way.
Now they pound it down low with Terry, trying to go to that size advantage. Martin kicks it over to Hovenack. They'll give it back. Getting 2.5 minutes in. Chapmanville still without a bucket in this game. Now they feed it again down low on the right block. Terry turns in the lane, in and out, but he'll be fouled on the play.
And you can see Brad Napper's adjustment. He took Brock and Dalton out because of them shooting the threes early on, Chris. They want to feed that ball inside to Keaton Terry. Not a lot of depth on this South Charleston bench as well, so maybe part of Brad Napper's strategy.
And again, they're only dressing 8 here tonight for South Charleston. Is Terry able to sink the first, and Chapmanville on the board.
I'd like to thank our first quarter sponsor, Hacienda in Logan.
That's a place that's gotten a lot of my money over the years. And rightfully so. Now Terry, second free throw. This one will fall as well. 3-2, South Charleston leads it. Both teams finally able to crack the scoreboard here early in the first quarter. Over to the left side. He'll get it out now to work it. He'll pull on a 3 quickly. That one's online but short.
He has not been shy about shooting that shot.
And his feet came out from under him that time. It allowed Terry to get inside, and he'll put it in, and the foul.
Another foul inside, and you can see Brad Napper, again, that adjustment real quick. It just takes a quick substitution sometimes, Chris, to make those adjustments.
You definitely feel like South Charleston knows they've got a disadvantage inside, so they're almost daring Chapmanville to take threes, which Chapmanville has no problem taking those either. But you can tell Brad Napper, he definitely knows where he's got his advantage, and he wants to exploit that. So 5-3, Chapmanville in the lead for the first time here tonight as a strong take up the left side. Nice finish at the rim by Hall.
Great take, good left hand as well.
Leaving at 5 apiece now, 4:39 left in the first. And winner moves on to the state tournament. Loser's season is over. Hovenack looks inside. Atkins got free, goes up and under, and Benji will finish it.
Great flash to the high post by Keaton Terry. Freed up that space inside from Benji, and Hovenack able to find him.
Tough take there by Brown, was off balance and fading away. Couldn't get it. Now Terry putting on a dribbling exhibition up the floor, but can't finish at the rim.
Yeah, he almost went coast to coast. Now I got to watch out for Brown back the other way.
He'll spin inside against a double team and picks up the foul, and I think they'll get Benji on this one.
In fact, Dakota Dalton may have gotten the block from behind, but Benji got him with the body or the push. So Brown able to go to the line to shoot two. Pace has been good for both clubs. I think you saw some nerves there in the first 4 minutes.
Yeah, I was kind of curious there at first, maybe if South Charleston was looking to try and not necessarily hold the ball, but definitely be more selective on offense. But now they started to turn up the pace as Brown hits the first free throw.
I'd like to thank some of our sponsors while we have some time. Witt's Mobile Home Movers, Blessing and Blooms, Williamson Auto Sales, United Motorsports, Hacienda Mexican Grill, Quality Metal Roofing, J&J's Mobile Auto, Gino's Pizza and Spaghetti House, and Freeman Funeral Home.
Brown able to sink both free throws. We're all even again at 7 apiece as we hit the midway point of the first quarter. Martin makes the grab across midcourt. Now he's trapped, trying to step through. South Charleston springing a bit of pressure. They go inside to Terry. Got caught in between layup and dunk and missed. Now here come the Black Eagles back the other way. Brown stutter stepping, gets in, kicks it out. Grayley couldn't gather it in time. Now he'll swing it around. It's good. Thought about a deep logo three. Instead of drive in into the corner. Grayley open three. He'll bury it.
South Charleston, a little 5 open offense right now. Nobody inside, and they're just dribble, drive, and kick. And it's kind of giving Chapmanville some problems.
10-7, South Charleston leads it here in this first quarter. Martin gives it to Hogan, back out to Martin. Now it's Chapmanville having to be patient as Dalton gets a good look for 3. This one gets halfway down and comes out. Now here comes a long pass up ahead to Good. He got behind the defense and he'll lay it in. So South Charleston doing a great job of getting out in transition, trying to create some quick looks here. After Chapmanville misses, and they've now taken their largest lead of the quarter at 12-7.
All Chapmanville's points have came inside. They had a great bounce to Benji Atkins there.
And it goes, counted and 1. And South Charleston can't believe it. They didn't think there was a foul on the play. The official says otherwise, and now it'll send Chapmanville to the line as that'll be the second foul on Malachi Hall.
Big foul. Again, Chapmanville has pushed their presence inside. Every single point has came inside the paint or at the foul line. It's been Keaton Terry and Benji Atkins on the Chapmanville end, but Chris, offensively, South Charleston doing a really good job. Dribble, drive, and kick, and hitting open looks.
Free throw won't fall, but there's Terry grabbing the board, couldn't control it, and it's lost out of bounds. So that'll give it back over to South Charleston, leading it by 3 with 2:36 to go here in the opening quarter. So now it appears Chapmanville's going to apply some pressure in the backcourt. Brown will bring it up here against Jay Brock. Brown gives it off on the dribble to Grayley. Now top of the key is into the game is Miles Terry for South Charleston. Grayley, another corner 3, and he'll knock down another one. He's got 3 threes here in this first quarter, and the Black Eagles lead it by 6. It's Hoganak inside to Terry. Gets double teamed and going to get a whistle and a foul. And once again, South Charleston upset with the call. So that'll be the 15th foul now against South Charleston. That's going to be another second foul. That's going to be the second on Grayley.
South Charleston has gone into their bench rather quickly here, as needed, but I think the bigger concern right now, Chris, is the defensive end of things for Chapmanville. Kind of reminds you of the way they started early in the season, where they would give up those big first quarters of play, and then they finally settle down. And that's kind of the way the game has gone so far for the Tigers.
Terry splits 1 of 2 from the free throw line. Yeah, that's exactly right, James. Again, they had a lot of quarters this year, especially in the first, where they gave up a lot, but then played lockdown from there on out. But again, circumstances a little bit different tonight with what's on the line as Brown leaves it short. Terry looks long up ahead for Brock. Brock behind everyone, and he'll lay it down.
Keaton Terry, great pass up ahead. Brock able to slip out. And much better job defensively there for Chapmanville. Good rotation on the dribble drive.
15-12 South Charleston. A minute and a half to go here in the quarter. Now we'll get a whistle and a foul. This one will go against Martin on a push. That's only the second team foul against Chapmanville here in the first quarter.
Right now on the bench, Eli Smith and Benji Atkins. And I do like the change for Benji out right now, because this 5 out doesn't give Benji the opportunity to do what he does best. And he has to go guard past the three-point line. Isn't necessarily what he does best. Got really good feet, but there's no real bigs out there for the Black Eagles.
They're trying to win this with their guard play and their shooting tonight as Brown. Good take, and he'll draw the contact and a whistle.
Terry picks up his first, and that's one you got to keep an eye on. Make sure that Keaton Terry doesn't get in foul trouble either.
Because him and Benji both have one, so does Martin here in this first quarter. Again, South Charleston has been attacking very wisely here tonight. Again, there's not been a whole lot of reckless possessions so far in this opening quarter. The question's going to be, can they keep it up for 4 quarters?
Gives another chance to thank our sponsors, Chris, Rebound Physical Therapy, Closer Emergency Care, Chiefs Roadhouse, 304 Motorsports, Park, Aracoma Theater, J&J Sports, City Auto Care, Starters Bar and Restaurant, D&D Auto Mart, and Williamson Animal Hospital.
Brown's second free throw. This one against the fall. That'll give South Charleston a 4-point lead again. Pressure in the backcourt. Dalton over to Hogenack. Dalton across the timeline with it. Also into the game now for South Charleston is Colin Pates. And two of their starters with 2 fouls as they still have Tayon Banks as well on the bench. Down low, Martin goes underneath, gives it off to Adkins. He'll kick it back out front. As James said, all of Chapmanville's points coming from the interior so far, and it stays that way as that 3 off by Martin.
Brown able to push the pace up ahead. He was 1-on-4 there for a second.
And he will. He's going to try and get that up before, see if they can get some transition buckets or maybe some open looks from 3, and now they draw a foul on the way in.
Body language not great for the Tigers right now. You can see some frustration on their faces. And not necessarily because of the foul call, it's because of what South Charleston has done to them. And that this 5-out dribble drive offense right now has really given the Tigers some problems.
And that's one of the things whenever you've got players like South Charleston does that can go one-on-one like this, you can go to those type of moves right there as good hits the first and let some of your best athletes go one-on-one in those situations.
Absolutely, and that's what we're seeing, them taking advantage of it right now, and you got to be cause for concern if you're Brad Napper.
Both free throws go for good. Lead back up to 6 now. Final 35 seconds of this opening quarter. South Charleston has possession error to start the second quarter at the moment. Terry, nice look inside. Dalton tried to bank it, couldn't get it to go. Terry grabs the rebound, spins back to his left side against his body and couldn't get that one to fall. Rebounded by Terry. Now here comes South Charleston back the other way. They could get a 2-for-1 here. The final look of the quarter and the first look of the second is Brown with 10 seconds. At the top of the key. Gets a screen from Terry. Steps back. A little mid-range jumper, and Brown will knock it down as the first quarter expires. And they have #1 Chapmanville on upset alert here early in this Regional Co-Final. Back after this as you're watching the Regional Co-Championships right here on the D&D Sports Network.
Introducing new Frosted Sodas and Floats. Only at Chick-fil-A.
Everybody come clap your hands. Oh, don't you know when you dance, you've got to smile or you can't cry. Try it a while, you'll be surprised. Baby,
Float.
it's a rock and roll.
Hop, spin, and slide like an original. The original Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and new Frosted Sodas and Floats. Only at Chick-fil-A.
Folks, if you're in the market for a storage building, garage, barn, or custom structure, there's only one name you need to know. Mountaineer Buildings, conveniently located right outside Chapmanville, West Virginia, with multiple locations across Kentucky, West Virginia, and Ohio. They are the largest building company in the coalfields for a reason. They've got a huge inventory on lot, unbeatable deals, and waiting for you. Come see us at Mountaineer Buildings.
West Virginia National Guard. Get help with your college tuition from the West Virginia Army National Guard. For more information, go to nationalguard.com. Chris Kidd, James Barker, Coach May, KJ, JJ, all of us here, all the J's in the house tonight. But right now, it's Chapmanville trailing it by 8 here as we head to quarter number 2. As Hall get it out for Orcutt. And South Charleston scored on the final possession of the first quarter, now trying to score in the first of the second quarter. It's over to Good. He'll drive on Brock. A lot of contact, and a charge going to be called on Good.
Yeah, good job from Dakota Dalton sliding in there and taking that charge, Chris. He set it up a few times, and that's the one thing the dribble drive offense has trouble with is when you get caught at the rim, you don't really have any way out, and Dalton able to draw the charge.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's going to be really tough for South Charleston to get anything at the rim here tonight, especially in a half-court set. So they're going to have to probably settle for those mid-range jumpers and three-pointers throughout the evening. The question is, can they continue to knock them down? Inside, Terry kicks it out to Martin. Martin gets into the paint, dishes out to Atkins. He'll charge in up the middle, scoops it up and in.
What a little Euro step for the big fella. Benji Atkins finishing at the rim, and Chapmanville needs something to go in. They need some confidence.
Oh, what a crossover by Brown, gets in, and boy, oh boy, what a finish. Well, again, as soon as I said they're not going to get nothing at the rim, they get it there, but how tough was that?
Yeah, real quick.
It's an 8-point lead again here for the Black Eagles. Chapmanville's only led briefly in this game so far. Atkins dumps it down to Terry, wide open. It looked like he almost had it slip out of his hands. He was surprised at how open he was, and he puts it in.
Great ball movement. Terry finding the open block. Easy bucket for Chapmanville. They need a stop. I know Brad Napper doesn't really want them to shoot the three, but I think they need one to go down from the outside just to get some momentum and some vision that it's going to go.
Orcutt, he's going to fire way downtown, no good, as Atkins able to crash in and get the rebound. Now Dalton, what a find inside to Terry, streaking to the rim.
Oh, QB1 threading the needle there, and now South Charleston needs a timeout.
That's 10 points for Keaton Terry here in this first half, as they close the gap down to 4 now with 6:11 left here in the first half. Well, it's good to have options when choosing health coverage for yourself, for your family, or for your employees, and you've got options with the health plan. The health plan, plan on it. Learn more at healthplan.org. We'd like to thank our second quarter sponsor here tonight, Williamson Animal Hospital, helping us bring you the action here from Danny Gobby Gymnasium in this regional co-championship here tonight. And so far, South Charleston has been able to hold off Chapmanville and their surges. And that was a good quick timeout, I think, by South Charleston. Again, any chance you get to try and kill the momentum for Chapmanville tonight, you've got to do so. Absolutely, Chris. Completely agree. And right now, South Charleston has kind of owned this game on the offensive end. Chapmanville has had their struggles offensively, shooting from the outside, but they've found some rhythm here early in the second. See if South Charleston can get back to what they've been doing well offensively. Brown, he'll take it in, gets to the middle, somehow flips it up and in. So athletic, just off balance, fade away, able to go around Keaton Terry for the two. He's got such great hang time out there as well. Again, didn't seem like he would have enough time to get that shot off and just stayed in the air forever. We get another foul here on South Charleston. That's going to be the second now on Jakari Goods. So you got 3 starters with 2 fouls. It's definitely something we have to continue to keep track of in this game because it's going to play a factor later in this contest. So bring Pates back in. And Hall and Grayley already out there with 2 fouls. Like I said, only 8 men on the bench for South Charleston dressed tonight. Martin bounces it up top. Dalton gathers and fires. Buries a 3. Needed it to go not only for Chapmanville, but Dakota Dalton needed to see one go in as well. Big shot for the Tigers. That's the first 3-pointer of the game for Chapmanville. Comes at about the 5:25 mark of the second quarter. Now here's Grayley. He had 3 threes in the first quarter. Looking for a give and go here. Ends up over in Pates' hands. Now over to Brown. Brown trying to spin on Terry. Now it's stolen away by Brock. He'll sprint ahead and he'll lay it up and in. Great job from Terry defensively. Brown bobbled it. Brock finished it off. Another quick 5 points here for Chapmanville as they close that 8-point deficit down to 1. Now Grayley steps into a deep 3, in and out as he hits the deck. Now here's Terry up to Atkins. Benji drives in. Chapmanville has the lead. Benji Atkins can do it all. Runs the floor. So can Keaton Terry. The 2 guys lead the fast break. They're the biggest on the floor. That's got to be so disheartening. You see just 2 guys, 6'4" and bigger, charging down on you on a break, and they still finish it without a problem. As that 3 from Orcutt got almost in, but now Atkins picks up his second foul. Not a needed foul there. There definitely was contact on the shot,
So Benji will probably sit for the rest of this quarter.
That'll bring 3 free throws now for Orcutt. When it comes to your family's health, trust WVU Medicine Thomas Hospitals. From routine checkups to advanced surgical procedures, world-class care is available close to home. WVU Medicine Thomas Hospitals. Now Orcutt at the free throw line. He's able to can the first. That's his first bucket of the game. Orcutt's got himself several threes off here in this first half. All of them have been short though, James, except for that last one. So we know he's got the range. It's just a matter of if he finds his rhythm.
Yeah, he's been online with all 3 of them, Chris. And like you mentioned, they were just short, and that last one just almost had a 4-point play because it rattled out. It was halfway down and then came out, as we'll see Eli Smith check in for Chapmanville.
And again, both coaches trying to navigate this foul trouble in the first half and try and not get one of their major players with a third foul before halftime. As Orcutt able to knock down all 3 free throws. South Charleston is 8 of 9 from the free throw line here in the first half. Terry gets it up to Martin. Now to Brock, corner 3. This one off the heel of the rim. Rebound tipped in the air. Brown comes away with it. Here he comes, 1-on-2, goes up against both defenders, but too strong. Now Terry back the other way. He'll give it back to Martin. Dalton on the far side calling for it, but Terry will take the jumper in the middle. It rims off, rebound loose and taken away by Orcutt. So a couple of bullets dodged on both ends that time. So Orcutt slows down the pace a little, crossing the timeline with 3:40 to go in the first half. He'll take it to his left on a high dribble, almost a carry. Now back over to Grayley. Brown will wait. Gets a screen from Hall out front. Again, Hall's got to be careful with those 2 fouls as Brown gets into the middle, tries to draw a contact, shot rims off. Now Terry up ahead to Smith, drives in, nice Euro step to the bucket, and he'll lay it in.
Great move by Eli Smith on that Euro step. A lot of contact on the shot from Brown. A lot of South Charleston fans wanted the call. But here we are, all tied up, 3 minutes to go in the first half, Chris.
And we figured this was going to be a tough back and forth game, and it's been that so far. In the corner, Pates, he'll get a good look for a 3, but too strong. Orcutt tries to crash the glass, but he comes up empty. And Smith, he'll charge in left side, had it stripped from Grayley from behind, and they're going to say last touch by Smith.
I think we're going to have a conference here. This official's coming down to talk. He wants to make sure that he agrees with the call.
And that's the second time we've seen Smith feel as if the call was an error against him. But instead, it'll give it back over to the Black Eagles. 2:46 left here in the first half. It's Brown patiently bringing it up here against Brock. And again, Brown's exerted a lot of energy here in this first half.
Coach May to my right here, Chris, has already got our stats. Big Keaton Terry double-double already in the first half.
Not shocking at all. Again, he's come ready here this evening. And he's been able to dominate on the inside as Grayley gets off a 3, nearly banked it in as Brock gets the board. Long up ahead, trying to find Martin. Martin makes the grab, and Grayley just picked up a pivotal 3rd foul.
As a football coach, Chris, I really like the way Martin was able to catch that ball in traffic and come down with it. That made me feel good.
And I was going to say, I think you're going to get a chance to test that a little bit this coming fall.
Yeah. But a really good play for Martin, able to catch it and then make the contact with Grayley. And he's been the sharpshooter for South Charleston. It's been the difference so far in the first half, at least offensively, for the Black Eagles.
And so that's going to be a pivotal 3rd foul. South Charleston nearly getting out of this half without further damage. But now they do have a starter with a 3rd. And while we have a moment, just like to thank our sponsors here tonight. Woods Mobile Home Movers, Blessings and Blooms, Williamson Auto Sales, United Motorsports, Hacienda Mexican Grill, Quality Metal Roofing, J&J Mobile Auto, Gino's Pizza and Spaghetti House, Freeman Funeral Home, Rebound Physical Therapy, Closer Emergency Care, Chiefs Roadhouse, 304 Motorsports Park, the Eric Homa Theater, J&J Sports, City Auto Care, Starters Bar and Restaurant, D&D Auto Mart, and Williamson Animal Hospital.
He got them all. Wow.
Right in time. We go inside. Smith couldn't hit, but now Terry on the backside. And what else is new? Keaton Terry with another bucket.
I'm going to give the delay of game, I think, on Terry there. Look at the warning. Yeah, he kind of slapped it. Somebody did. It was Eli Smith. So Smith tapped it when it came through the basket. So you get a warning there. Next one's a technical.
I would say, I don't know if Eli accidentally keyed one of the officials' cars before the game or what, but he's
got some unfavorable calls for sure.
I'm gonna say, is he dating one of their daughters? I don't know. Yeah, he's had a couple tough ones go against him here so far. Chapmanville leads it by 2. Brown stumbling inside, may have gotten his balance back with Martin falling to the ground, and he's able to put it in.
And a quick timeout from South Charleston.
That'll be a full timeout with 1:50 to go in the first half. We'll take it as well and be back after this as you're watching the Region 4 Co-Championships here on the D&D Sports Network.
If you got a big job to get done, don't just trust any flagging service. Call Diamond Flagging Service. Diamond Flagging Service keeps your community safe while also making sure it stays moving. Give Diamond Flagging Service a call today for their services. They also offer amazing job opportunities. Diamond Flagging Services, proud supporter of the Mountain Athletes.
Getting ready for sports means protecting those eyes. Up to 90% of sport-related eye injuries can be prevented with proper eye protection. White Eye Care knows this and is committed to providing the best protective sportswear for your child's eyes. As a proud sponsor of our community sports programs, we want to see our kids protected, from the little ones up to the big leagues. Our huge selection of eyewear makes finding that perfect pair easy. So win big this season. Call White Eye Care in Logan for an appointment today.
Here as we go back to action late in this second quarter. Chris Kidd, James Barker, J.J. Pruitt, Coach May, Coach Jones here tonight. Brown just making that layup a moment ago to tie the score up. Now Chapmanville looking to answer as Terry almost had a lob chance on the back door that time.
I think if it wasn't all tied up at 29, Jay Brock would have pulled that trigger on the lob pass, but thought differently.
Yeah, I was going to say, after Hovenack had that one off the backboard against Lincoln County, I don't think he'll try it in this situation. If he did, he better execute or else he might as well just keep running out that door.
Yeah, good drive there from Kai Martin, Chris, able to get the defender to back up. Keaton Terry drawing the defense in, and Martin able to hit that 5-foot floater.
Martin gets his first bucket of the game while Brown trying to get through several tough defenders, and finally Brock comes up with it over to Terry, and he'll lay it in. 14 now in the first half for Keaton Terry. Chapmanville has their largest lead of the game now at 33-29. Now they pressure Brown again. Brock with a steal, and here comes the lay-in.
What a flurry here for the Tigers at the end of the first half. Brad Napper's defense finally stepping up. South Charleston had, I believe, 20 points to start this quarter, only 9 so far.
So like we said, it's been a familiar theme this year. A tough first quarter, but Chapmanville dominating the second. As that 3 off from Brown, another chance for Chapmanville to add on here at the end of the half. Terry looking, kicks it out, high pass, but Martin able to go up and grab it. Back over to Dalton with 12 seconds as he'll bring it out. And Chapmanville will hold for the final look here of the first half. Dalton over to Brock, corner 3, no good. Long rebound comes out, taken by Brown. He'll heave it at the horn, no good, and that will do it for the first half as Chapmanville ends in a flurry and lead it 35-29 here at intermission. And now down on the floor, we're going to take it to J.J. Pruitt as he's got Coach Brad Napper with us.
I'm J.J. Pruitt with the D&D Sports Network, and I am with head coach Brad Napper. Coach, going into the first quarter at the end, you were down 8 points. Now at the end of the second quarter, You're up 6. Can you tell me what some of the adjustments were that you guys made from the first quarter to the second quarter?
Energy. Our energy and our defense picked up a little bit. We got some runouts. Anytime our defense is picked up, we got a lot of energy, we get easy baskets.
So going into the locker room, can you share with us in the audience at least one thing that you're going to tell your players for the second half?
They better keep their energy up or they're going to get beat.
Back to you guys.
Brad Napper talking with us here before the half, and JJ doing a great job. JJ was the only one of us with a face for television, I tell you. It's 35-29 here at intermission. We're going to step aside for a break and be back with first half stats and analysis after this as you're watching the Co-Region 4 Championships here on the D&D Sports Network. (35-29) here at the half for this Region 4 Co-Championship. Chris Kidd, James Barker, J.J. Pruitt, Coach May, Coach Jones here today as our halftime show brought to you by Diamond Flagging Company here this evening as you look at the first half scoring on both sides with South Charleston first. Again, they are led by Malcolm Brown with 11 points, Aiden Grayley with 9. Then you had Jakari Good with 4, Bryson Orcutt with 3, and Malachi Hall with 2 to round out the scoring. On the other side for Chapmanville, they were led by Keaton Terry with 14 points here in the first half. Benji Atkins with 8. Jay Brock with 6. Dakota Dalton with 3. Eli Smith and Kai Martin, each with 2 points to round out the scoring here in the first half. As we mentioned, South Charleston 8 of 9 from the free throw line, along with 3 3-pointers. Chapmanville with only 1 3-pointer here in the first half. But overall, Chapmanville 4 of 5 from the free throw line. As it adds up to Chapmanville overtaking an 8-point deficit and now leading it by 6. But you heard Brad Napper down on the floor, James, again said we've got to have energy, and that's something they didn't have in that first quarter. They definitely had a lot of it in the second quarter. And if they come out like that here in the second half, this could get away from South Charleston in a hurry.
You know, the game sometimes speeds up against you, Chris. You played Lincoln County, who was 0-21, 0-22 on the season, and now you get South Charleston, who has speed, has athleticism, can do what they want to do on offense, which is that dribble drive, and with Brown on the inside. And Brown's beaten just about anybody he's had off the dribble until Chapmanville started squeezing that foul line a little bit sooner and getting some help on him. And once he gets in the paint, he's really, really dangerous. But when he starts that drive at the top of the key, if you can get him to stop at the foul line, that's when South Charleston's offense has really gone downhill. And with the foul trouble, Chris, especially with, I believe it is Grayley hitting the threes on the outside, that when he's got 3 fouls, it's going to be tough for South Charleston. If he picks up a quick fourth here in the third quarter, I don't know where they're going to go.
Yeah, because they really can't afford to hide any of these guys in this game. Like you said, they've only got 8 on their bench. So they're going to have to go with them and hope for the best at some point. They did keep the other 2, Good and Hall, at 2 fouls. But like you said, with Grayley having 3, it does limit some things they want to do on offense. They really need Orcutt to maybe get going from the outside. Again, he's gotten some looks, just hasn't been able to knock anything down yet. But if you're Chapmanville, you just want to keep attacking the interior over and over and over and over again. Again, that's where they've had their success. That's where they're getting most of their damage done, as they had, it looks like 28 of their 35 points, if not more, came on the inside in the first half.
Yeah, and I think you could tell Brad Napper, quick substitution there in the first quarter after Jay Brock and Dakota Dalton shot threes. Upset about it. He wanted to feed the ball inside of Keaton Terry, and the way this game has gone, do you blame him? Absolutely not. Keaton Terry with a double-double at halftime here, Chris, and he has just been dominant on the inside. But again, those outside shots go for the Tigers. That's what makes them elite. That's when they separate from the rest of this AAA field. And sometimes you got to see 1 or 2 go in, and it makes things a lot easier on offense.
And you see JJ down there trying to coerce any Chapmanville student section fan to try and come on the air with us here. Right now, it looks like a lot of the boys are declining at the moment. I tell you, the cheerleaders did it. I said, shoot, they might as well have somebody from the cheering section step in. So while we have a moment, just a reminder that Field Turf is the trusted choice for athletic fields in West Virginia. Field Turf is a proud partner of the WVSSAC. Now we look across the way as we see JJ's got Amari Daniels down there, James. Why do you think? This is a wise choice?
Nope. Nope. Pass the mic. Pass the mic. Oh, Amari's a great kid. He really is.
He is. Yes, it looks like they're going to.
I'm JJ Pruitt with the D&D Sports Network, and I'm here with the Chapmanville Pep section. In the first quarter, Chapmanville was down 8 points. You know, whenever they was down a little bit, were you guys nervous?
A little bit, yeah. But I know our team can come through in anything. I know we're tough. We get it done anyways. Lock up defense, shooting 3 balls from Jay over there. We've been working hard all season. We deserve to go to Charleston, you know?
So what would it mean for you guys to be able to have the opportunity to go all the way to Charleston to watch this Chapmanville Tiger team possibly compete for a state championship?
Well, we're not really that unusual with it. So we usually come there to cheer our team on. They usually get it done, and the most hard-earned opportunities they get. I love our team.
I'm going to ask you all one last question. What is your favorite sports network? Back to you guys.
ESPN.
I think JJ's slipping some money down there, getting them to speak about D&D, Chris.
I tell you what, he's a great spokesman for the company down there, and want to thank Amari joining us. God knows I'll hear about that all day tomorrow. He'll come in telling us about it. And something else we'd all love to talk about is Chick-fil-A while we're here. Again, Chick-fil-A and its 18 West Virginia owner-operators salute the more than 86,000 boys and girls that participate in scholastic sports in our state. Chick-fil-A recognizes that participation in high school sports helps to develop leadership and teamwork skills that prepare each participant for life. The same values that Chick-fil-A in your community shares. Now we're ready to go here in this third quarter, and 16 minutes away from one of the 8 spots to Charleston getting punched. As the Tigers will open up with the first look here of this third quarter. Dalton, give it over to Martin. He gets a wide open look. He'll take the 3, but off. Rebound Terry, tips it to himself.
Keith Terry just dominant on the glass.
Now here's Martin, gets into the middle, able to kick it out to Brock. 3 from the corner, in and out. And Chapmanville's had several of those, so does South Charleston here tonight. It's a work it. Backs up at the top of the key. So give it off for good. In the middle now for Hall. And South Charleston may need a strong start to this third quarter, much like they had in the first quarter.
A little bit more of an offensive set here for South Charleston. We didn't see that in the first half. Much more high posts and screens and rolling around.
Now Brown, he'll take the 3, and Malcolm Brown just continues to hoist this team on his shoulders.
What a shot from Brown. Not only a moment in the game, but just the depth of the shot as well. Great young athlete for the Black Eagles.
35-32 as Dalton's entry pass goes off the backboard. Now a run out chance up ahead to Workut. He'll catch it. Dalton did just enough to cause him to miss the layup. Again, those are the opportunities if you're South Charleston you've got to have, but great job by Dalton not giving up on the play. Martin looks into the middle. Underneath, nice look for Terry, and that'll be another 2.
Beautiful high-low, great pass from Jay Brock to set that up for Keaton Terry on the inside.
Nice little 4-point swing there for Chapmanville. Could have saw their lead dwindle to 1. Instead, it goes back to 5. Brown straight on 3. This one off to the right. Rebounded by Brock. Thought about a long pass to Terry, but he'll hold up now.
If you're South Charleston, Brown, a little heat check shot there, Chris, but at the same time, they've had such success with the dribble drive.
Now here's Brock, and Jay Brock, who hasn't had a 3 go down all night, finally gets this one from the left wing.
That usually is what gets Chapmanville going on the offensive end. We'll see if they continue to let Jay shoot that shot from the outside.
40-32, baseline jumper, no good by Jakari. Good. Now you're starting to feel South Charleston maybe press a little bit, taking some ill-advised shots. What a pass by Benji. He tipped it to himself and then tipped it over to Terry for the 2.
Just a little hockey assist from Benji Atkins, and it's a 10-point lead real quick. And I think you're right, Chris. A lot of forced shots right now for the Black Eagles.
And this was the breaking point we talked about at the top of the broadcast, and they might be ready to break in half now as Brock buries back-to-back 3s and a timeout for the Black Eagles as they now face their largest deficit at 45-32 with 5:09 left in the third quarter. It'll be a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep things here. And we'd like to thank our third quarter sponsor, Trend Services, here tonight, as well as from the WVSSAC, Gomart. They were founded in West Virginia and proud to support its schools, athletes, and communities, supporting the state high school championships. Gomart celebrates the spirit that brings us together. Go for good times, go for Gomart. Again now, James, like we said, it got down to a 3-point game again, and now a 10-0 run by Chapmanville. 3 straight possessions where South Charleston hurried shots. And really now they've kind of backed themselves into a corner where they can't play slow anymore.
They're going to come out full court pressure here if they get a make. And, now Chapmanville's kind of sunk their claws in and going to make it a lot more difficult for South Charleston on this offensive end.
Okay, we'll give it off. And out front, Dalton's going to be called for the check foul.
And that's one thing you don't want to do if you're Chapmanville is get them. And we're not close to the bonus. It's only their first foul of the quarter, but you don't want to get some cheap ones, get yourself in foul trouble, and then get them to the foul line.
Inbound into the backcourt for good. Give it off to Brown. You see Chapmanville trying to extend this defense a little bit more, make life even more difficult on South Charleston. Good. Looking for a screen. Now gets Hall onto him, gives it off down low to Hall, and he'll get the foul call. Dalton wondering if it's on him, and I believe it is.
Yeah, they call that easy on Dalton. I think he got the arm in, came down with the block attempt, and that's what they called the foul on. But I do like that possession for the Black Eagles. They went at the basket that time. They had been settling for really tough shots there in those last 3 possessions, Chris, but going at the rim and kind of, you just got to chip away at this one possession at a time.
Well, able to hit on the first. And again, Coach Daniel, he's one of the better young coaches in the state. He's at Herbert Hoover here at South Charleston now. He's definitely been sought after by a lot of teams around the state. And he is trying to keep his club within striking distance. They trail it by 11. Pass cross court, almost intercepted by Orchid. I don't know how it went through his hands, and Dalton able to convert it into 2.
Good job for Dakota going straight at the rim there, but I agree with you, Chris. Benji Atkins' pass should have been tipped and stolen away.
It was like his hands went into ghost mode there for a moment. Get a whistle and a reach-in foul again here on Chapmanville. This one's going to go against Jay Brock. Actually, let's see, it was Brock or Dalton, one of the 2.
I think they called it on Brock.
Okay.
He almost picked up another real quick there on Brown.
Brown slams on the brakes and brings it back out. And his 3rd team foul against Chapmanville this quarter. Braley gives it off to Good. Thought better of it with Atkins in front of him. He'll drive left side, got in but couldn't finish. Good will kick it back out. Graley, he'll get a clean look straight on, and he picks up where he left off in the first quarter.
It's his 4th 3 of the game, and anytime he's open, it's almost automatic.
He has had a hot shooting night here tonight. Problem for him has been foul trouble with 3. Now Dalton looks to answer back off the back of the iron. Long rebound comes out to Orchid. You kind of feel like this is really the chance for South Charleston to try and get back into it, and there was another forced shot. Terry, great behind the back dribble over to Brock. Corner 3. That one off. Hovenack able to tip it, but they're going to say it was over the back.
Yeah, he pushed in the back on the call there. That's exactly why you make that call. But man, if that 3 goes down for Jay Brock, what a swing. You had Orchid that drove there, Chris. Didn't have numbers, and instead of valuing the possession when you're down 10, took an ill-advised shot. South Charleston wanted the call for the contact, but he shot that 1-on-3, and it's an easy no call for the officials.
They'll inbound here with 3:23 left in the 3rd. Over to Good. Again, Orchid got a hit of steam there, but Good not wanting the 3 from the side. Now goes one-on-one with Martin. Gets by him inside, but Good misses at the rim, and Good's had about 3 or 4 misses at the rim here tonight. Back the other way. Terry gets it inside from Brock, and another 4-point swing possession.
And what can he do? Runs the entire floor and then finishes the break.
Oh, Brown on the other end almost went up and under as Terry goes back to check on him, and now they say Brock may have stepped on the sideline, and he's out of bounds.
Again, South Charleston cut the lead to 10, and they're acting like they're down 20 instead of just taking the possession one at a time. Chapmanville hasn't been great on the offensive end here in the 3rd quarter. Scored enough to expand their lead, but here in the last 2 minutes, they've missed some shots, not had great sets and looks, and then just a turnover here. South Charleston doesn't need, you can't get it all back in one possession.
That's what we talked about before. There's no 10-point shot out there that's going to make all of this magically disappear. Like you mentioned, James, they've just got to try and take a pickaxe right now and try and chisel away at this lead. Brown with a 3. That one comes up short. Is Atkins there for the rebound. Now he finds a crease. Benji takes it all the way in, and he'll finish with the left hand.
What a great finish from Benji Atkins. Goes coast to coast with it. These are the 2 big fellas for Chapmanville, just able to finish and run the floor so well.
Now he He's getting to double digits with 10 points for the game as we get a whistle. And a foul here. It looks like this one may be on Eli Smith.
I was getting ready to ask you, Chris, guess who?
I was like, boy, poor Eli. Again, I don't know what happened before the game. Again, if he threw pudding at one of their cars, I'm not sure. But yeah, Eli's had a tough go of it here tonight as far as the calls have gone.
This is kind of the situation you didn't want to be in. We mentioned it about the 5-minute mark after Dakota Dalton picked up the first foul of the quarter, Chris. But here we are with 2:23 to go in the third, and South Charleston in the bonus and a chance to cut into this lead with no time coming off the clock.
Bailey hits on the first, and just a reminder that Hope Gas congratulates the teams for making it to the state championship. Learn more about Hope's community efforts by following them on Instagram. Good luck, teams, from everyone at Hope Gas. Bailey able to hit both free throws. Lead down to 12. Now Martin gets inside, and he'll shimmy around and put it up and in.
What a great finish from Kai Martin. That's another great athlete Chapmanville's got on the floor.
Back to a 14-point lead. 2 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Grayley steps inside, got between traffic, somehow puts it up and in, and he'll go to the line.
I swear, if they call it on Eli Smith, he's around there. Okay. Not that there wasn't contact, but.
Yeah, I was ready to say, I was like, Eli, it may just be one of those days you call it off. Yeah, I've had plenty of those days you roll out of bed and you're like, I should have just rolled back over the other way. Looks like South Charleston will put a sub back on the bench there momentarily as Grayley trying to complete this three-point play. And rattles out, no good. Rebound taken away by Brock. Minute 48 left here in the third quarter. Again, 5 team fouls, as James mentioned, against Chapmanville. None against South Charleston here in the third. But Chapmanville's been able to double up their 6-point halftime lead. Atkins drives in, and there's going to be the first whistle and foul of the third quarter against the Black Eagles.
I think they're going to call that one on Grayley. He picks up his fourth.
Well, and that is, him and Brown are really the two scorers on the floor that they just couldn't afford to get into foul trouble tonight. And Grayley, like you said, now with his fourth foul and still 9:35 to play in this game.
The issue right now for South Charleston, they've gotten out of that zone. They've gone to man-to-man to try to create a little bit more pressure, maybe some turnovers, and they just can't match up without fouling. And Benji Atkins, just a matchup nightmare, can dribble it and drive and do all the things that he can do, and you can't leave the shooters open either. So just a really tough matchup. South Charleston, when they were ahead, that zone was working really well, and now that Chapmanville's got the lead, they got to find a way to get some stops if they want to stay in it.
You know, unlike you, James, again, there's just too much talent for Chapmanville to play them heads up like that man-to-man as Orcutt with a great drive and finish. He's got 5 points now, the lead back to 11. They look for an entry pass to Atkins. He'll make the grab at the rim, and one for Benji.
Just a matchup nightmare right now. Too much size on the inside, and it's not just size. He's got great feet, great hands, and can finish at the rim just as good as anybody.
And again, whenever he or Terry catch the ball in that position with that much size advantage, I mean, good luck. The only thing stopping them is the rim at that point. And Benji made that catch deep, and there was just no contest on that. An easy two for him. And he pushes the lead back to 14 now. Benji's got 14 points on the evening. He's second in scoring behind Terry right now. He's got 20. Now full court pressure by Chapmanville. They get it into Brown as he'll charge his way up the right side. Cuts to the middle. Caught midair, little jumper, won't go. Rebounded by Terry. And you can kind of sense the life kind of coming out of the South Charleston bench right now. Then they had the early 8-point lead, but it's been all Chapmanville since the first quarter, and Smith will put it in.
Great pass from Dalton, saw the matchup, mismatch inside, and Smith able to get, I believe, his first bucket of the game.
59-43 with 42 seconds to go here in the third. And Chapmanville trying to punch their ticket back to the state tournament. Orcutt Takes it to his left, now circles around, gets by Martin, dumps it off underneath the hall. Good find by Orcutt. Now 25 seconds left in the quarter. Up ahead, Terry. He'll bring it back out. Lobs it cross court for Hovenack. Chapmanville will now try and hold for one here with a 14-point lead in the final 12 seconds of this quarter. Dalton waiting now with 8 seconds to go. 7, 6, now looks to go, gives it to Terry. Now to Hovenack, they lob it in for Smith, gets good position, goes up, and Eli Smith will lay it in as the third quarter comes to a close in Chapmanville. A 16-point lead and 8 minutes to go before a return trip to Charelston. We'll be back after this as you're watching the Co-Region Championships here on the D&D Sports Network.
Here at Logan Bank and Trust, we are committed to serving the needs of the Southern coalfields.
For any of your financial needs, we encourage you to stop by one of our 5 convenient locations or apply online today at lbnt.com.
Whether you choose to stop by or visit us online, our team is here to help you every step of the way.
Buying a new home, expanding your business? Choose Logan Bank and Trust. Let's bank together.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
At Logan Regional Medical Center, our comprehensive inpatient rehabilitation program helps get you back to living life. With an 8-bed unit for patients 18 and over, our caring team of doctors, nurses, and rehabilitation specialists work with you, providing a full line of services to help you restore your capabilities and get you back home and back to living. Logan Regional Medical Center, providing inpatient rehabilitation close to home.
Welcome back, everybody. Chris Kidd, James Barker, J.J. Pruitt, Coach May, and Coach Jones here with you this evening. We'd like to thank our fourth quarter sponsor here tonight, White Eye Care, for helping us bring you this co-regional championship this evening. And looks like Coach Dalton and Coach Napper down there trying to do cleanup crew at the moment. Just going to notice the shirt Brad Napper's got on tonight too, James.
It's a good touch, isn't it?
Yeah, Mama Connie there on his shirt. Again, unfortunately passed away earlier this year or late last year. And again, one of the biggest basketball fans you're ever going to find here is Connie Bush. So love that touch from Coach Napper wearing that shirt with him and her on it. He's a work at little pull-up jumper, and he'll knock it down to start the fourth. 61-47. Here's Dalton. To the left side, gives it over to Hovenack. Now out to Smith, and again, Chapmanville with this 16-point margin. They can definitely afford to be patient here. In this fourth quarter, South Charleston's got to play virtually the most perfect quarter they can to try and pull this off now. Martin gets inside, found a little lane, had a shot rejected, gathered by Smith. He'll go up and he'll get the whistle.
Now Smith is not necessarily struggled tonight, just hasn't been on the good end of a lot of these calls, but he's made his mark here late in the third quarter, now early in the fourth quarter. And Chapmanville, that's a really good possession, Chris. Didn't force a shot, didn't try to get out and push it. They had a couple opportunities to take, not necessarily bad shots, but some tough shots, and they just doing a really good job on the boards as well, as they currently hold an advantage. Coach May tells me 28-13 on the glass in this contest, Chris.
That's a massive margin right there. Smith able to knock down the first free throw. He's got 7 tonight. We'd like to thank some of our sponsors this evening: Witt's Mobile Home Movers, Blessings and Blooms, Williamson Auto Sales, United Motorsports, Hacienda Mexican Grill, Quality Metal Roofing, and J&J Mobile Auto. Smith able to hit both free throws, back to a 16-point lead. Nearly 1 minute gone here in the fourth as Brown able to get by and then gets fouled from behind as he crashes down underneath. Again, he has left everything he's had out on the floor here tonight. Brown exhausted himself trying to keep his club in this game. Now he'll go back to the free throw line where he's 3 of 4 tonight.
And if you're Chapmanville, you don't want to foul too much. You don't want to give them easy buckets, obviously, but can't let South Charleston score at the foul line, get a quick stop, and then come back down.
Brown able to hit on the first free throw. He's got 15 now tonight. We'd also like to thank some of our sponsors: Gino's Pizza and Spaghetti House, Freeman Funeral Home, Rebound Physical Therapy, Closer Energy Care, excuse me, I can't read, and Chiefs Roadhouse. Both free throws good for Brown, and a timeout called by South Charleston here with 7:03 remaining. We'll be back after this as you're watching the Region 4 Co-Championships on the D&D Sports Network.
Stop by Eric Homa Drug today and let them fill your prescription. Eric Homa Drug has been serving the Chapmanville community for over 46 years. They're a proud supporter of the Chapmanville Tigers and all mountain athletes.
Call 304-752-3474 and see Missy Birchfield at your good friends at State Farm in Logan, West Virginia. She gives out free insurance quotes, so make sure you see her at State Farm.
If you was pushed out of the area because of loss of work in the coal industry, look no longer. Jim Marr is here for you. Jim Marr is now hiring for all positions in the coal field. Stop by their offices in Logan, West Virginia or in Wheeling, West Virginia and apply today.
(63-49), Chapmanville leading South Charleston. Chris Kidd, James Barker here, J.J. Pruitt down on the floor, our camera floor operator tonight. Coach Jones up here. Our regular camera operator this evening, Coach May, keeping stats for us over along the far side as we get a whistle. I believe a 10-second call here, James.
It was 10-second violation. Ball back to South Charleston. And the Black Eagles not going away. They just got to be a little bit smarter on offense. They still got plenty of time in this if they can get on a little mini 5-6-0 run and then kind of reset again. They'll have an opportunity, but Chapmanville hasn't been able to put them away yet.
Brown will step into the corner, gives it out to Grayley. He's back into those 4 fouls now. Over to Orcutt, back to Grayley. He's trying to find some space here on Terry. Drives in, kicks it out good. This time he will take the 3 off the back of the iron. Rebound tipped in the air a couple times. Up ahead to Dalton. Over to Brock. Brock will drive in. He'll lay it in. Great passing by Chapmanville. Another 2 on their end as Brown comes in. Landed a little awkwardly there on that miss, and we get a whistle.
Yeah, they're going to say Benji Atkins got him as he was coming down from the shot. I'm not sure what the conference is, though. I don't think it was intentional or anything like that.
I'm like you. I don't really know what their conversation could be about, but obviously they do. And they are going to call that intentional. So that'll be 2 shots and the ball now for South Charleston. As Coach Napper wanting a little bit of an explanation as he comes over.
Well, they're going to call that on Benji, and I think they're going to say that he hit maybe Brown below the waist after the shot.
That would definitely make sense with the reaction Brown had after that as he hits on the first free throw. And also just a reminder that the West Virginia Secondary Schools Activities Commission serves its 286 member schools and their students by providing leadership and support for the conduct of education-based athletics, which enrich the educational experience of all participants. Play, perform, compete together. Brown able to hit on both free throws. South Charleston a chance to try and come up with a big possession here overall. They get the 2 free throws. Now can they find another bucket? So work a tough step back. That one way off the mark, and Smith will just let it trickle out of bounds. And it is just tonight, South Charleston, they've had opportunities to try and climb back into this second half, but oftentimes got impatient and took the shot they probably didn't want in that situation. Atkins takes the pass, takes it all the way in, and Benji Atkins once again just great control by that senior.
Yeah, well, you can tell why Brad Napper wanted to force the issue early and often in the paint in this contest. Chapmanville has scored exclusively from there. And another three there for Grayley Chris. He's got, I believe, 5 on the evening now.
Yeah, he's got 5 threes and 19 points overall. Now a steal over to Grayley. This could get him back into it, but that'll pop out. Rebound taken by Terry. Now up ahead to Terry. She looks back out. Dalton looks inside. Great look for Brock, and he'll lay it in.
What a pass from Dakota Dalton. You say that on the football field a lot, but man, he's made a couple laser passes tonight.
69-54. Over to Brown. 3 from the wing. This one off the back of the rim. There's Benji with another rebound. And I'd say he and Terry both with double-doubles tonight as Smith over to Brock. Goes up, had it deflected, and now taken by Hall. Charelston with the ball, trailing by 15 here. It's under 5 minutes to play. Good. Turned on the afterburners and got to the rim and lays it home. Now here comes Chapmanville back. They break the pressure easily. And again, I'd say the legs have got to start going here soon for South Charleston as Dalton's 3 won't fall. Rebound ricochets out of bounds and last touch by Chapmanville.
Chapmanville's up 13, Chris. And right there, Dakota Dalton's shot. I know you want to shoot that. You're open. Take a shot, like the confidence. But your clock is your friend right now. You could have easily reset the offense there and burned another 20 seconds off the clock.
And you see Dakota just tapping his chest as he exchanges some words with Jay Brock that time. Now South Charleston will bring it up the floor here with 4:28 and counting in the fourth. Again, winner moves on to the Charleston Civic Center in the AAA state tournament. Loser season is over. Good on the wing. Gets to the elbow. He'll kick it back out to Grayley. Grayley stutter stepping, trying to drive. Tough task against Keaton Terry. He's able to get it over him and draw the foul. I'll tell you what, if you draw one-on-one assignments, that's not really the one you want to be taking to the rim, but that time Grayley was able to make it work.
And again, here's South Charleston hanging around. They really haven't gotten it under double digits since really the beginning of the third quarter, but Chapmanville hasn't been able to put them away, and here they are again at the foul line with no time coming off the clock and trying to cut into this lead.
Grayley off on the first attempt, as we'd like to thank the rest of our sponsors here tonight. 304 Motorsports Park, the Aracoma Theater, J&J Sports, City Auto Care, Starters Bar and Restaurant, D&D Auto Mart, Williamson Animal Hospital, and Mountaineer Buildings. As both free throws off for Grayley. Those are 2 big misses right there, and now here comes Chapmanville back. Atkins lobs up to Terry, can't finish it. Again, a little bit of mistiming on his jump that time, and now good back the other way. Pull up mid-range. That one won't fall as Terry gets the board. Looking up ahead, Brock. Cuts back, now looking for help. It's good, poked it away, and Brad Napper doesn't like what he sees, and he wants to call for time now.
And it's one of those, I really like the timeout, one of those timeouts for Brad Napper where he's just going to try to calm his club down. They're getting in this transition game and not necessarily need to right now.
That's a full timeout, so we'll take it as well and be back after this as you're watching the Region 4 Cove Finals here on the D&D Sports Network.
Smokey Armstrong with United Motorsports in Danville. Stop in today and check out the great deals on Can-Am, side-by-sides, and ATVs. And let the good times roll on a new Kawasaki plus promo financing available now. And savings up to $7,500 on selected units. Right now, get limited time offers on new Yamaha motorcycles. We've got new, pre-owned. We have parts, service, and financing to get you approved. United Motorsports in Danville, West Virginia.
Introducing new frosted sodas and floats. Only at Chick-fil-A.
Everybody come clap your hands. Oh, don't you know when you dance, you've got to smile or you can't cry. Try it a while, you'll be surprised.
Float. Hop. Spin. and slide like an original. The original Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and new frosted sodas and floats. Only at Chick-fil-A.
(69-56), Chapmanville leads it. 3:43 left before Chapmanville gets a chance to head back to Charleston to look for a 4th state championship in the last 10 years. As Atkins with another great drive, and he'll finish again.
Look, if he's moving forward, he's not going to fall backward. Benji Atkins does not do that. So what a good finish again for Benji.
Well, you talk about a big 3 tonight as Brown step back 3 is going to be short, saved by Orcutt. It goes to Dalton again. Atkins, Brock, and Terry all right around the same total here as Dalton crashes to the ground. And he'll go to the line as Jay Brock, he's got 16 tonight. Atkins just picked up his 18th point, and Terry's got 20.
Yeah. When you're talking about the player of the game, Chris, there's a few that you could choose. I think you'll probably see Keaton Terry finish it off, but Benji Atkins has had a great second half.
Yeah, he has really turned it up here in the second half as Dalton off on the first free throw. Yeah, Benji had 8 at halftime, and he's got 10 here in the second half. It's he and Terry both with a double-double here this evening. Dalton's second free throw. This one swishes through. 72-56, Chapmanville leads it as we close in on 3 minutes left in the 4th quarter. Brown up the left side. He'll kick it over to Good, now to Grayley. Grayley will kick it back out front to Good. And like I said, you just kind of sense some exhaustion setting in for South Charleston as well. Some of that dejection too. Knowing you were up 8 in the first half, maybe had a chance to extend that lead as Brown hits in the middle. But again, a lot was going to have to go right here tonight for South Charleston and able to pull off the upset. And it did for about 8 minutes in this game, and then everything just shifted after that.
Yeah, you could tell after the first quarter, Chapmanville has kind of changed a little bit of their defensive philosophy, but Brad Napper said it at halftime, energy. And they've played with a lot more energy in the last 3 quarters of this contest than they did in the first, and that's been the big difference.
Grayley will bring it out. Dumps it in for Hall. He drives in, puts it up over top of Atkins. No good. Grayley almost able to tip it in. Now bodies get dragged down and no whistle. And now it'll be out of bounds. They say last touch by Chapmanville. And I think Benji's got an argument there. It looked like he got hooked.
He got tackled to the ground.
The official said he didn't see it.
Again, I got the pleasure of coaching that young man football for 3 of his 4 years at Chapmanville. For him to go to the ground, it takes a lot.
And him and Hall definitely got tangled that time, and now Martin sends that one away with an emphatic rejection. As Terry will check in for Smith here with 2:14 remaining. Chapmanville will find out their opponent pretty quick later on tonight. Again, those seedings come out normally within the hour of all the games concluding. So we'll likely know Chapmanville's ranking and who they're playing and what time next week, probably by, I'd say, 9:30, if not sooner tonight.
Well, Chapmanville's been sloppy here to kind of finish this thing off. It's not been clean. That's saying a lot when they've scored 72 points on the evening, but it's kind of been at this 12, 14-point mark for a long period of time, and Chapmanville's had their opportunities to blow it away.
Brown, top of the key 3. That one rattles out as Dalton grabs the rebound. Down to a minute 45 to go as Brock, baseline jumper, bends off and hits both sides of the rim. Terry gets another rebound. He'll kick it out. Jay will try a 3. This one's short. There's Atkins on the rebound. No good. Gets it back again, and he'll put it in.
With the urgency Chapmanville has on offense, you would think they were the ones down 14 right now.
Oh, I know. I said they've been staying in attack mode here. And another foul committed by Chapmanville underneath, and you see Brad Napper with his hands on his head. At this point, if you're Chapmanville, you might just almost want to let those go. At least it keeps the clock moving. And that'll be the 4th foul on Benji, but it'll keep the clock moving, or if nothing else, South Charleston will have to burn whatever remaining timeouts they have, as Orcutt able to hit on the first. Again, Orcutt, he's got 8 points here this evening, and stay with us. Coming up on the 304 Motorsports postgame show, again, we'll have our player of the game, as well as some interviews down on the floor with the Chapmanville Tigers, who appear on their way to another trip to the state tournament.
And you would assume they would be the 1 seed.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't see anything after tonight that would change that, as Brad Napper wants to take a 30-second timeout just to try and get everything situated for the final 86 seconds tonight. But yeah, I don't see anything changing that. Then you have the upset of Capital that happened against Greenbrier East, and that really creates a bit of a chasm in that AAA field now going in, James, because again, we'll wait and see who comes out of that region and the others tonight, but Chapmanville really handled most of the competition at the top of AAA this year, and Capital was a team that did push them going into the 4th quarter. But other than that, Chapmanville really ran roughshod over most of the competition that's going to be there.
Yeah, and that's what you just really don't know who's going to be at that 2 and 3 seed now. You assumed if Capital got through, they were going to be the 2. Maybe Bridgeport could challenge them for that seeding as well. But, a Bridgeport team that came to Chapmanville just got blown out the entire game. So we're going to, Fairmont's going to be in the mix. So some of these blue bloods that are used to being there are going to be there. I think the worry for Brad Napper's club is who is that 4-5 matchup? Do you get a team like Shady and Fairmont at that 4-5 that makes that semifinal game a little bit scary for you?
Yeah, because I'm not going to lie, Bridgeport, they just match up horribly with Chapmanville. I just don't see where Bridgeport's going to be able to make a whole lot of a stand against Chapmanville. As you said, we were here for that game, and it was a lot like this with the height advantage. But Bridgeport doesn't have the athleticism, I don't feel, that South Charleston has either. So, like I said, it'll be interesting to see if there is a team in that AAA field that can stand up to this, what's been a runaway train for the Tigers here in the last month or so. Martin, corner 3, count it. And that's one way to put a cherry on top of another regional title here for Coach Napper and the Chapmanville Tigers.
So they're going to put that plaque in that newly painted Tigers legacy out there in the cafeteria.
Yeah, it does. It looks beautiful out there.
Kayla Dingus did a phenomenal job on that.
Absolutely. And again, it made that even more beautified, and there'll be another trophy in that case to help show off all the accomplishments of this Tiger club as Atkins gets fouled on a reach around there. With 35.2 seconds to go as Hall will get his 4th. As Hovenack will check in for Benji Atkins, and that'll give them a chance to cheer for Benji. As the senior will come off the floor for the final time as a Chapmanville Tiger here at Danny Gobby Arena. And again, a well-deserved standing ovation and applause for Benji Atkins.
Absolutely well-deserved. And Benji doesn't play baseball or any of the spring sports, and this will be his last game in a Tiger uniform in Chapmanville, and deserves all the accolades in the world.
He and Eli Smith get to enjoy another trip to Charleston, and this Tiger club heads into the AAA state tournament with the favorite tag on their back and a chance to try and win their first AAA championship in school history. They got 3 AA at their helm, and now looking to add a AAA to that is Brad Napper and the Chapmanville Tigers heading back to Charleston with a 77-60 win over the Black Eagles. So now we will take it in here to our post-game show, again brought to you by 304 Motorsports. And it's time for our Tuck Valley Wellness Clinic Player of the Game tonight, James. And I think both of us kind of agreed on that during the last break, who we both thought.
Yeah, I think Keaton Terry's going to get it, and, you know, you could give it to Benji Atkins as well, but Keaton Terry just dominant in the first half. Really kept Chapmanville in the game in that first quarter and first half of play. So Keaton Terry, the Tuck Valley Wellness Clinic Player of the Game. I'm sure J.J. Pruitt's going to be down there and enjoying the festivities.
But yeah, I was like you, James, again. Terry really jump-started everything here tonight for Chapmanville on both sides of the ball, even though they were struggling to get out of the gates early on. And he was just kind of steady throughout for Chapmanville, really asserted that inside game that they were looking to have. And it paid huge dividends later on, which really opened up things for Benji Adkins and others to try and get their points down low. As they bring out, looks like the ladder to help cut down the nets is J.J. Pruitt down there along with Coach May, looking to try and gather some players for some interviews. And it looks like they've got Keaton Terry right now heading over to the camera. And we're going to get ready to send things down to J.J. Pruitt as he is with our Tuck Valley Wellness Clinic Player of the Game in Keaton Terry once they figure out where they want to stand.
I'm J.J. Pruitt with the D&D Sports Network, and I am with your Tuck Valley Wellness Player of the Game, Keaton Terry. Keaton, congratulations on your performance. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling good. We just won. We're about to go to state, so we got to work. You know, we're going to come on top with that ring.
Well, you put on an incredible performance, but going into the first quarter, you guys was down 8 points, so it was somewhat of a little bit of a slow start. Can you tell me what you guys did, you know, going into the second, third, and fourth quarter to turn things around?
Our coach, Brad Napper, he was talking to us. He was telling us what we need to do better, and we came out and we did it in the third and fourth quarter.
Can you talk a little bit about that speech that he gave you guys?
Huh?
Can you talk a little bit about the speech that he gave you guys in the locker room?
He was talking about we need to fix these layups. We need to run the plays right and just hustle more. That's all.
So you put up a 22-point, 20-rebound game. Where in the world did that come from?
Nobody else is going to do it.
Well, tell me one more thing. What does it mean to you once again to be able to go to Charleston and have another opportunity to win a state title?
I want to do it for all my seniors. You know, I want to win for them, most importantly, man. That's the goal.
Well, congratulations once again, Keaton Terry. Go celebrate with your teammates. Back to you guys.
Again, thank you, JJ, down on the floor with our Tuck Valley Wellness Clinic Player of the Game, and Keaton Terry. And it's just a phenomenal game by him tonight. And you see, getting ready for the state tournament picture. That'll be in the program next week for the Tigers. And like I said, James, this is going to be a formidable team to try and go up against. And if you're on their side of the bracket, again, it's going to take a monumental effort to try and knock off this Chapmanville team.
Yeah, and when you just look out there right now, Chris, just look at the size Chapmanville has. You know, Benji Atkins and Keaton Terry in the back, but you know, look at Eli Smith holding up the plaque there as a senior. With, you know, he's 6'3", 6'4", and he's a guy that comes off the bench for you. Kai Martin, 6'3". Dakota Dalton, 6'2", 6'3". I mean, they just have size everywhere, and they're just a tough matchup for any team, not only in Class AAA, but across the state of West Virginia.
Yeah, I do. I think they're a matchup disaster for so many teams because of their height at so many positions. And it is. It's going to be interesting to see if there's a team in Charleston that is able to solve this riddle in the Chapmanville Tigers as they head back to the state tournament. Well, while we wait here for just a moment, we'll run through the final scoring on both sides. Malcolm Brown led the way for South Charleston with 20 points. Aiden Braley with 19 on the evening. Then you had Bryson Orcutt with 9, Jakari Good with 6, and Malachi Hall with 6 to round out the scoring for the Black Eagles. Okay, I was just doing my math for a second to make sure I was right. On the other side for Chapmanville, Keaton Terry and Benji Atkins both led the way, each with 20 points here tonight. Then you had Jay Brock with 16, Eli Smith finished with 8, Kai Martin with 7, and Dakota Dalton with 6 to round out the scoring for the Tigers. So Again, just unbelievable balance once again by Chapmanville. 3 players with 16 points or more on the game. Several others almost into double figures overall here, and that's what you've heard Brad Napper and many of the others talk about. Said if one player's not hurting you, another one will, or another one will, or another one will. And there's just so many people on this roster that can get you 8, 10, 12, 14 points at any given time.
Yeah, Keaton Terry not only finishes with that 22 points, Chris, he had 20 rebounds. Look at Benji Atkins' stat line. 7 rebounds, 4 assists with his point total as well. Jay Brock, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Dakota Dalton, 3 rebounds, 6 assists. I mean, they just have guys that fill up the stat sheet in every way, shape, form, fashion, and just a great team win. You know, they've leaned on different guys, like you mentioned, Chris, each time they win a basketball game. We've seen Jay Brock kind of carry this team offensively for about 3 weeks now, and then Keaton Terry here in the last week or two has just been dominant on the inside, was dominant at Huntington, was dominant here tonight. And I think a lot of people in Charleston are going to get their first taste of Keaton Terry and kind of see exactly what he's about.
Now JJ has Coach Brad Napper.
I'm JJ Pruitt with the D&D Sports Network, and I'm with head coach Brad Napper. Coach, another day at the office. How you feeling?
That was a tough one. I mean, South Charleston did a heck of a job. Josh had those guys ready to play, and we were able to hang in there. We didn't play real clean for a lot of the game and made a lot of mistakes that we can't make going forward.
Absolutely. So that halftime speech, it worked pretty well, didn't it?
After the first quarter, I thought we played pretty good. I mean, not great, but pretty good. But a lot of that was because South Charleston did a really good job in the first quarter of slowing us down, taking us out of transition, and limiting us to one shot. We were able to get on the boards and get in transition a little more in the second quarter on.
So is there anything specific that you're going to go over with your players going into Charleston, or is it pretty safe to say that since they've already been there before, that they're going to be very well prepared?
No, I mean, we're going to have a lot to go over, and we're going to watch this film tomorrow and look and see what we did right, what we did wrong, and try to correct, and just get better.
Well, one last question for you, Coach. The T-shirt. I've been wanting to ask you about it. Would you like to talk a little bit about it?
Yeah, I mean, Mamaw Bush, she was one of our biggest fans, biggest supporters in the community, and she passed away, back in the spring, so last year. So we've missed her. She was kind of a staple here at the games, and we kind of did this game in honor of her.
Well, I know, Coach, she's looking down on you guys right now, and I know that she's saying, Tiger, 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 and that she's proud of you guys. So on behalf of the D&D Sports Network, we just want to say congratulations once again, and go get it done.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Back to you guys.
I was going to laugh if he asked Coach Napper what his favorite sports network was.
Well, we all know it's D&D.
Obviously.
It's D&D.
Yeah, and I think JJ's going to try and get maybe one more player here before we sign off here this evening. But, one of the great things here, James, again, you and I started with WVOW Radio back in, I did around 2006. You were even before then. And we came here whenever Chapmanville basketball was not something you really wanted to come and watch.
No, I remember sectional games and things like that, Chris, where Chapmanville was the lower seed and really easy they were a walkover. And now you look at what Brad Napper and Harry Kirk, Danny Gobby have built.
And now he's got Dakota Dalton.
I'm JJ Pruitt with the D&D Sports Network, and I'm with Dakota Dalton. Dakota, congratulations on the game. Going into the first quarter, you guys was down 8 points, and then, after the first quarter, you guys pretty much never looked back. Can you talk a little bit about what adjustments you guys made?
We called that timeout when we went down 8, and, Brad just told us, he said, if y'all don't want to be here, we can leave, if that's how you all want it. But, we want to go win a state title, so we just tighten it down to win.
So how's it feel to go back to Charleston for the second straight year?
It feels great. Last year we got beat out first round, so it left a bad taste in all of our mouths, so we want to ring this year.
So what is one thing that you guys are going to do differently whenever you guys get there?
Just be mentally focused. That's one of the big keys that we need. Staying hydrated, making sure our bodies are well. That's about it.
Well, once again, on behalf of the D&D Sports Network, we all want to say congratulations to you, and we want you to go get it done. Thank you very much. Back to you guys.
JJ, phenomenal job here tonight. with all the interviews. And I guess before we sign off here in just a moment, James, again, we were both talking about that, but yeah, all those moments where things weren't going great for the Chapmanville program, and then you mentioned all the people that helped bring it back up, and then 2014. Again, feels like forever ago now, but it wasn't that long ago. That was just the first trip to the state tournament in school history for these Tigers. And now they basically get their mail at the state tournament.
Yeah, they're expected to be in Charleston. And it's just, Chris, you and I were here for that one. And Josh Butcher hit that just an amazing shot there. I've always said they should put his footprints on the floor where he hit that huge three against Nicholas County to give Chapmanville their first state title berth. This is a Chapmanville basketball program. When you go back, Danny Gobby and Dave Elkins and those coaches that coached in the past had opportunities at times to get to Charleston and just didn't get it done. Not any fault of them. They played in a very difficult region for many, many years, and with everything realigned and everything happening, it took even Harry Kirk, the legendary Harry Kirk, could not get Chapmanville to Charleston, and it took a while, but now they're a regular.
Well, J.J. Pruitt's down on the floor with Ashley Dalton. Let's talk to
I am
him.
J.J. Pruitt with the D&D Sports Network, and I am with assistant coach and my boss, Ashley Dalton. Coach, boss, congratulations on your win. How you feeling right now?
Feeling pretty good, JJ. We got to take another trip.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And so going into the end of the first quarter, you guys was down 8 points. What kind of speech did the coaches give them to get them fired up?
Well, Brad's speech is probably not fit for normal ears, but it comes down to, I think we came out in the first quarter a little flat. We beat them earlier in the season pretty good. They just had to get woke up. Once they got woke up, they realized what was at stake. And, a trip to Charleston tends to give you a little motivation. And hats off to Coach Napper. I think this is the 10th trip in 11 years, something like that. Yeah, I think we've only missed state tournaments 1 year since his tenure here at Chapmanville.
That is incredible. So, they went to state last year, so, they're coming into this year a little more experienced. What do you think the biggest key to victory is, to get it done whenever you guys get to Charleston?
Well, I think last year our biggest issues was, the boys were all freshmen. Now they're sophomores. They've had a lot more experience. They've been on that big stage before. So, and B&G and Eli both have won a state championship in 2023 with that team. So with those guys, leading them and these sophomores playing at a high level, we're going to be a handful for anybody.
Well, I look forward to seeing you guys play. And I got one last question. Any chance I can get a media pass when we go to Charleston? Or?
Well, yeah, you go down to the front of the ticket booth. They got all kinds of them.
Back to you guys.
Oh, that was great. That was fabulous.
Yeah, that was a perfect response right there. So 77-60, Chapmanville knocks off South Charleston.
I got to ask J.J. Pruitt now who his favorite sports network is after that comment from Ashley Dalton.
Just told him, get your wallet ready, J.J. over in Charleston. Forget that. But we've had a great time covering Chapmanville this year. This will be the last time we get to cover Chapmanville. I don't know the rest of our schedule this week as of yet. I don't know if we're going to Charleston Catholic yet or not, James. Tug Valley is tomorrow against Man. That'll be on D&D Sports. And then, like I said, maybe Logan and Charleston Catholic on Thursday over there. We'll have to wait and see. But nevertheless, Tug Valley and Man will be tomorrow on the D&D Sports Network, trying to see another local team cash their ticket to the state tournament. But once again, it's been another wonderful season covering things with you, James, and hopefully we get a chance to do some things over in Charleston. Then we'll get ready for baseball.
Absolutely, Chris. Again, and I appreciate all the hard work the guys behind the scenes did, not only tonight but all season long. KJ, our producer, and Coach May down there on the floor right now, JJ Pruitt, who's been with us most of the year too. But a true team effort here at D&D, and when I first started here at D&D, Chris, it was sometimes it'd be a one-man show. I'd run the camera, run the computer, and everything like that. But we've progressed so far. We bring in-game replays in football season, and the scoreboard at halftime, and floor cameras here in these big games. And it's just been it's been a great evolution for D&D, but just a great great broadcasting team that we have here at D&D Sports as well.
Absolutely, and it's been a lot of fun being a part of it here with D&D for my first year, and hopefully a lot more still to come here with the D&D Sports Network, as Chapmanville will be in Charleston next week. Again, time and opponent will be determined here later on tonight. But for all of us here at D&D Sports, want to thank J.J. Pruitt, want to thank Coach May, Coach Jones. For James Barker, I'm Chris Kidd saying so long tonight here from Chapmanville, West Virginia, as you've been watching the Region 4 Co-Championships with us here on the D&D Sports Network.